Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel today for another video on Gran Turismo Sport, and we're back with the highlights of the Toyota Cup race at Suzuka in the Super Formula car. So yeah, please, if you do enjoy these videos, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button so you don't miss any future videos, and let me know in the comment section if you did this race, how your race went, and anything about this race. Let me know in the comment section. Yeah, this was an entertaining one, I have to say. Make sure you watch this all the way through because I think this was a really intense race. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm glad that I did this race because I only realized this race was on the night before it was due to go on, so we hadn't done any practice. We did a few time trial laps, wasn't really prepared for it, but we're starting this race from P10, which isn't too bad. We're right in the middle of the action, and that gives us the opportunity to start on a different tyre because you had to use the hard tyre in this race. However, you really wanted to go softs and then hard at the end for a few laps, or hard then softs, etc. So yeah, let's get on with this race and get into the action. So yeah, starting from P10, we're starting on the hard tyres. As you can see there, traction control level 1. We're going to try and get a good start here. We're going to use a little bit of the boost button. You can see that we're going to activate as soon as we're away from the line, using that push to overtake button, which is just basically open to fuel mixture up slightly to use a bit more fuel. And we're working our way into turn 1. We've managed to gain 1 position off that start, so straight away up to P9. So not a bad start off the hard tyres. Normally you're going to lose places, but we actually gained 1 position. We got a little bit of a loose car in front of us there, nearly lost control through the corner, but he just about collected it up, and we all pretty much get through turn 1 without any incident by the looks of it. It looks like a clean start. Great to see. Suzuka is always a turn 1 where things can go a little bit messy, especially when you've got the hard and the soft tyres on the grid together. Hard tyres were very scary through turn 1 because it was so cold off the start, because obviously you're waiting for when it goes through every driver, them tyres just get no heat in them, and they basically get colder and colder, and you have 0 grip at the start. So off the start here now, we've got away nice and clean, and you can see we're doing a bit short shifting because I can't really overtake the cars in front because it's pretty much impossible when you've got this situation going on. You've just got to be patient, so I'm trying to be as patient as I can. Short shift, save a bit of fuel for a lap or so while we're stuck behind P8. There's no point going ultra aggressive. I don't really like driving in the dirty air anyway. I struggle, so for me the best thing to do is just sit behind, short shift. Let's not get too aggressive. As we see, Quentin there has had a penalty, so we're going to try and hang it around the outside here. Can we make that stick all the way around the outside? And we managed to do it. A really nice overtake around the outside there of Quentin as we go through the final chicane. And keep an eye on the mirror there. Quentin is going to go for a very brave strategy, so he kind of triggers me into a different strategy as well, because he's pitted that lap. That means I kind of need to pit on the next lap also, because he's going to possibly trigger a long line of cars pitting. So yeah, we'll fast forward the remainder of this lap as we're just, again, you can see, just following the car in front, short shifting, saving fuel, trying to make sure that I, when I pit, that I'm going to be able to fill right up to the maximum pretty much and get to the end, because obviously fuel was a slight issue for this track. We did need to do a bit of fuel saving, but with myself going to pit this lap, which are we going to do now? We're going to go into the pits. We're going to have to pretty much put maximum fuel in to make sure that we get to the end of the race. So you can see there, into the pits, we're going to put the soft tyre on. You can see it says that we don't need to put maximum fuel on, but that is based off of fuel saving. We want to be pushing, so we put a bit more fuel in, out of the pits, and you can see Quentin's got a massive undercut there. Probably what he's done there is that he's not fueled up massively. He's probably gone for a big he's going to do his fuel saving throughout the races. Watch, I possibly could have gone for that strategy. He's going to fuel save and try and make sure he stays ahead of traffic and get a jump on a lot of people. So it can work. As we skip ahead to the end of lap 3, I think this is, as we're coming through to the other cars doing their pit stops, and we're going to see, has this 1 lap undercut. We pitted lap 2, obviously 14 laps on the soft tyres is going to be very difficult and even more hard for Quentin up ahead, obviously with them tyres. But we come out of the pits and we've managed to jump that car. You can see we got the jump on him. Unfortunately, we didn't get past P13 there in front of us. He was just a little bit too far ahead, and yet annoyingly we might have been able to get ahead of him if we'd done a slightly better lap, but I think his pace was better than mine anyway. Like I say, we hadn't done much practicing for this, so yeah, I didn't really expect to be pushing too far up the grid, and with his pace in front of us, we would have just ended up holding him up anyway. Maybe I should have practiced for this round, because the pace seemed pretty good for the limited, for what driving we've done on here. The pace seemed okay. As we come through here, we've got Gators in front on the hard tyres still. He hasn't pitted. his race is not with us, but for some reason he does try and defend this a little bit. You're going to see coming out of this corner he uses a bit of the boost button, which I don't really know why he wants to defend against ourselves, because we're on the soft tyre, he's on the hard tyre, he hasn't pitted yet, he's not in the same battle as me, so we got on the inside here expecting him just to give us, you know, free entry through the corner, because he's not in our race, and he tries to close the door on us. He does the same thing to the car behind also, but that car does the exact same thing as us. And I think I actually seen through the replay quite a few drivers, I think Quentin also did a similar thing going through 130R that was a little bit sketchier, but yeah, did the same thing. He's trying to defend like when you're all that far back and your race isn't with these drivers, especially when you're on a totally different tyre like this, it's not really wise to be too aggressive with your defence, because you're just going to lose more time. You've got to use a bit of racecraft and think about the long run, because you're not battling with these drivers, you're not in the same race, you're probably about 20 seconds or so, well, I don't know, maybe 15 seconds or so behind, and yeah, it's not really worth fighting too much. So we're going to fast forward the action now, and we've got into P10, you can see, so we're back into the position that we started the race on. However, we are going to gain a few more positions with people pitting and stuff. You can see that there's a few cars that we do need to overtake. We've got a Filion in front of us. Now, I wasn't sure. There was a yellow flag. I wasn't sure whether he had an issue, but clearly he hasn't pitted yet, and he had an issue, because you can see his pace is not very strong. He's going to pit on this lap. Obviously, going to go for quite a long stint on the hard tyre there. You can see that shows you just how brave the strategy that we're doing and Quentin is, because most people were only doing about 10 or 11 laps on the soft tyres. We're going to have to do 14 laps. Quentin's going to have to do 15 laps. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, because there's cars behind us that are doing a lot less tyres. You can see we jumped up to P8. We've got a Filion, I think, we've got the TX3 driver in P10 there, who's just come out the pits, possibly on the previous lap or one before. I'm not sure whether he's on fresh tyres from this point, but yeah, he's got at least 2 to 3 laps fresher tyres than what I've got. He's in P10 at the moment. Luckily, we've got a driver between us, so hopefully he can stay behind him for as long as possible, as we're just trying to put in consistent lap times now. Not too worried about overdriving it, because like I say, these tyres have got to last all the way to the end. I had the brake bias all the way 5 to the rear, because as you know, Suzuka is a track where you need a lot of front end grip, and yeah, I was just keeping them tyres as good as I can through the front tyres, trying not to overdrive the car. However, going through here, you're going to see that P10 on them fresher tyres, I think is going to go for a move on P9. You're going to see it on the delta there, you see on the left hand side, he's actually jumped up to P9. So now this is going to get quite intense, because we're going to have to try and hold on to this position with a lot worse tyres than what P9 has got. So it's going to get quite intense. I have to say, I really do enjoy the challenge though of this, because it's not an easy track to overtake. So if you drive smart, you use, I had a little bit of boost left. You could see I'd managed to save some boost there on the right hand side. You can see it, I had about a quarter of my boost left. So it's all going to be about tactically using that boost to try and stay ahead of the TX3 driver that is behind us right now. So as we work down our way down the back straight here now into 130R, you can see that he's in the slipstream now, and this is where it starts to get a bit worrying. But as long as we keep him out of range of an overtake before the braking zones for that corner there, before the last chicane and before turn 1, we might be able to get a result out of this and stay ahead. However, we just saw then Boo Boo Racing, I think it is, parked up on the entrance to the pit lane. Really, people, do not do stuff like this. You know, I know this is only a game, people say, but this is a Toyota Cup. It's actually an esports competition, this, and he's parked up on the pit entry with the yellow flag out. Now, if a car doesn't overtake in that point of track where the yellow flag is out, they run the risk of getting a 3-second penalty because of the Gran Turismo penalty system. So yeah, if you've given up on your race, please just park it in the pits. Don't sit there on the entry, because I do know there was a driver that has actually been banned from the game in the past for doing stuff like this. I think it was in the Cataluna race. I don't know if it was Snake, possibly was Snake. I think he was driving around, just, you know, parked up on corners and stuff like that. And basically what happened was he got banned from the game. He actually got his account banned. So yeah, bear that in mind. Don't do things like that on the corners, because yeah, it's just not, it's not a good thing to do. As we work our way now, we can see on the replay camera we've got the TX3 driver putting us under a lot of pressure here. We're just about keeping ahead. You can see while we're in that while he's in that dirty air, he's really struggling through the cornering sections. So I'm just trying to hold it in this position here as we go onto the back straight, and this is where again we need to try and keep him away from us. So you can see using a bit of that boost there just on the exit of the corner, because all I'm trying to do is give myself enough position going into 130R and then the braking zone for the chicane. So if we can hold him off here, then it's going to be very difficult for him to go for a move. So again, we're just going to position the car in the middle of the track there and then into the braking zone, and you can see he's not really close enough to go for a move here as we work our way onto the main straight. And now into turn 1, again using a boost. You can see myself using that boost just to give myself a bit of acceleration out of that corner, and we're going to possibly need to go defensive here. You can see he's very close behind us as we go past the pit entry, and yeah, he's just not close enough there. You can see he just didn't get close enough to go in for the move, and able to take the normal racing line through there. So we're going to fast forward the action again as we work our way through the twisty section. Again, this is where I've just got to, all we have to do is keep it smooth, don't make an error, get the braking point spot on, get the apexes spot on, and again he's going to find it very difficult. So into this final corner before we come out onto the back straight, so through spoon onto the power nice and early, again using a bit of that boost that we've got left. We're on lap 11 here, and you can see that he's getting a very big slipstream from us. Luckily for me, he's not going to be able to go for a move there, so we're going to go defensive on the right hand side here. Is he going to be able to go for a move? No, he's not really going to be able to do anything there. So holding our ground really well and going very defensive, just making sure that we put the car in the correct place to stop him being able to go for that overtake. This is actually really intense. I really enjoyed this. We did this live on stream. Obviously the stream is unlisted now because we're doing this video to cover it, and yeah, I think a lot of the stream enjoyed this race as well. It was a really intense race. We're not too far off the leaders as well. That's the thing which I was quite impressed with. I didn't expect to be this close to the lead group. We've got Quentin in front of us who's losing pace a bit now. You can see we've actually gained a bit of time on him. Obviously his tyres, and I think he had to do a bit of fuel saving. But we're having to defend now from the drive. My concentration was 100% on the driver behind. I was not even looking at Quentin or worry about him. It was all about trying to defend this position for P7. You know, P7 in this lobby would be quite a respectable finish considering we've done no practice. So working our way again into this 130R, you can see that the TX3 driver behind us, he's getting the slipstream, but he's a little bit further away on this lap. We seem to have managed to give him that dirty air through them corners, has cost him a bit of time, and he's just not close enough to really go for any sort of move. So again, through here, trying to keep it nice and smooth, trying to make sure we get on the power nice and early, and you can see the rear getting a bit loose. You can see the tyre wear. We've got, our tyres are dying right now. We've only got a few more laps to go. We've got, I think, 4 more laps to go in this race, but the tyres are really struggling as we work our way into the first corner again, just about ahead of the TX3 driver, and just keeping him in that dirty air. You can see just driving really tactical right now. We're just trying to keep it smooth, trying to make no mistakes in the corners, trying to hit all them braking points, and at the moment things are going good. You can see his car on the replay camera just struggling to get through these fast corners, and he's losing time in that dirty air. So yeah, just carry on doing what we're doing. Fuel looks okay as we, again, Boo Boo Racing just parked up on the track now. Yeah, I can't stress this enough. Don't do that, people. If you're racing these races, don't do what he's doing. It's really not on. It's gonna annoy people, if I'm brutally honest. As we work our way into the braking zone and trying to keep it nice and smooth here. Again, you can see just trying to make sure we get a good apex there so that we get on the power nice and early. You can see behind us as he gets on the power, the car just getting a little bit loose because he's got that dirty air. As we work through these 2 left-hand corners, through spoon again, fast forward the action up to 130R. And again, you can see he's getting closer, closer, closer. He looks like he possibly used a bit of boost there, but he's just not able to go for a move. Again, defending really well, just putting the car in the middle of the track. And now on the throttle as early as we can, working our way down the straight and seeing if we can hold him off into turn 1 now. So you can see positioning the car over to the right hand side because we don't want him going down that right hand side. So we're staying to the right, make him go around the long way. Is he going to be able to send? It's going to be very difficult to send it around the outside there with tyres that are starting to die. So yeah, again, we managed to defend that really well. Hold our nerve, keep the braking point just exactly where we needed to keep it. And again, through this section, just trying to keep it smooth without making too many errors. And you can see every time we come back through this section, we're giving ourselves a little bit of a cushion because again, it's so difficult to follow another car on Gran Turismo, especially in Super Formula. At a track like Suzuka, it's very difficult to follow another car through that section. And again, you can see up in front, we're not too far behind. We've got Quentin. You can actually see the battle with Quentin there. And we can actually see, as we come through here, you're going to see the group of leaders are not far away. We've actually driven a very good race in this race. My pace has actually surprised me. I kind of wished I'd put a bit of practice in for this because I think we could have competed very well with the front drivers, but you know, we're doing okay as it is so far in this race. We're in P7 and the aim here is purely to hold on to P7 again. As we come into that final chicane, you can see he's weaving around, he's trying to put us under a bit of pressure, but we're not faltering. We're just keeping our lines, keeping it defensive, not getting flustered, and I think he's getting a little bit frustrated, obviously, because as you would, I've been in a situation like this in a Group 1 race, and it's so frustrating. But all I'm doing is doing what everyone would do, defending, keeping it in position, and driving a very tactical race right now, trying to keep it very smooth, trying to carry the speed where I know I can carry the speed, and then again through this section just giving him all that dirty air so he struggles through here. And again, we're doing a good job. We're keeping all them breakpoints and apexes. We're hitting the apexes. That is the important thing. We're not making any big errors as we work our way through here. Again, you can see we're going to fast forward the action again through here as we just drop him a little bit, because again, it's so hard to follow. And we can see that gap to the leaders is not really changing. We're driving really well. We're coming through to the final few laps now. We're on lap 15, I think this is, and we're going to just rejoin the action again as we go through 130. You can see he's getting ever closer in the slipstream. We're going to go to the right hand side, and again, he's just not able to go for a move there. It's very difficult to go around the outside there. And also tyre wear. His tyres are probably starting to fade a bit, although mine are completely dead now. We're on to the 14th lap now, starting lap 14 on these tyres. He's going to go for a move now. Is he going to go for a move into turn 1? You can see it looks like he's using a bit of boost up here. He's going to go to the left hand side and try and drag it round the outside of our car. Is he going to make that stick? He's not going to make that stick as we get on the power nice and early. And yeah, we managed to hold him off there for one more time into turn 1. So that is one position now where he's not going to be able to go for a move again, because we're on the final lap of this race trying to hold on to P7. We've got Boo Boo racing again, just driving around, giving people dirty air. I can't stress enough, just park it up in the pits. It's really frustrating when you see people doing stuff like that. But yeah, hopefully you'll learn from it and not do it again as we work our way through the 2 corners there, trying to keep it nice and smooth. And we've got a lot of chaos. We seem to have gained a lot of time on the leaders there from P2 onwards. Seems to be a lot of chaos kicking off in front of us. We see Quentin gone up to P3, then he's back down to P6. So yeah, what has been going on there? It seems like a little bit of chaos has been going on with the drivers up ahead of us, and we're very close. We're only 2 seconds away from that battle. So yeah, I think if we weren't having to defend like crazy to this driver behind, we might have been a lot closer to that group. But at the moment, we're just trying to hold on and keep the car on the track. We're not even worried about our lap times. All we're worried about is holding on to P7. So there's going to be one final attempt for him to be able to go for a move, and it's going to be into this corner up here. So we're going to hold the normal line, and then we're going to go straight to the right hand side of the track. We're going to make him go to the left, and you can see we're just trying to give him enough space. He brakes a little bit too late there, and he's not going to make the corner. Unfortunately, he just braked a bit, yeah, too late. You're never going to stop the car with the tyres as worn as they are, and we managed to hold on for a P7 in this race. A very well earned P7 as well, I think. I was really happy with that, considering, you know, we're under 10 seconds away from the lead with no practice in quite a long race. It was a 27-minute race about, so done quite a good job there. As we take a look at what went on here, we were driving on board with Quentin. We see a little bit of chaos going on in front of us. Quentin goes down the right here and just takes P3, which is totally fair. And then I think this was a bit harsh. I think this was a bit naughty, personally, in my view. Adritech, is it? Or Adritech, don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, I think that move was naughty. I think Quentin deserved P3 from this race, if I'm brutally honest. I think he had earned it. He had got himself into P3, but he got it stolen on that corner right there. As we see the battle between B-Racer and Myro, this is where it all started pretty much. You can see quite an aggressive battle between these two. Side by side, good racing though. But yeah, you can see through here, Myro, I think, gets on the grass, nearly loses it, just about manages to regain control, nearly loses it again. They're going side by side, really good racing, but it's verging on being a bit too aggressive at some points. This point here I'm not sure about. We see B-Racer go to the right side, and Myro kind of just blocks it off. I don't know how I feel about that one, because he was already over there, but he did turn a little bit more, and then B-Racer gets pushed off, lucky to regain the car. Dirty tyres, Adritech and B-Racer go off, hit the wall. Like, they are so lucky to have not spawned through them. We could have ended up gaining a few positions here at the end, because, yeah, all this carnage here. I'm surprised no one got penalties and no one got spun off. So, very lucky that all three of them didn't come away with penalties, and really feel sorry for Quentin in all that, because I feel he deserved the P3. But that's racing. It was a little bit aggressive. Unfortunately, the penalty system still possibly needs to be a bit more sensitive in some of these incidents, but yeah, what a fun race. Really enjoyable all the way to the end. I hope you lot enjoyed this race. Hope you enjoyed this highlights video. If you did, please give myself a subscription. Hit that like button, because like I say, the like button is so important to the channel. And yeah, I will be seeing you for more of these videos and live streams in the future. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Bye.